Hello, my name is Claudia Vargas from CVGMarketing. I've grown my Facebook empire from 0 to 1 million members. Our company helps our members find solutions to their problems because you are important to us. We have worked with entertainment industry, doctors, dentists, law firms, restaurants, creating a win-win solution for all. Today, I am going to introduce you to a very special guest in hopes you can learn from her experience when finding love online. Linda Todd, welcome.
Thank you, Claudia. I'm so happy to be here with you, and I'm happy to share my story. I've learned a few things along the way. We've had the internet dating stuff going on for long enough now that we really need to know a few things and be aware of what's out there and believe that it can happen to us, both the good and the bad, and just work with it.
Definitely. When I found out about your story, I said, I hear this story over and over and over because my friends tell me, oh, my mom met this really nice guy from Italy, who is very good, but now he's asking for this and now he's asking for that. And the more and more that I was talking with people, I was hearing these crazy stories, and I couldn't believe the nerves of some of these guys.
Right. I know. And it's important too, not only to, I can't believe the nerve of the guys, but the only reason the guys do it is because it works. So we as women and men, because women and men both get scammed, so we as the target, I'll say, we need to be smarter. And it's not that hard, and it doesn't mean being cold and mean. Just be smart, protect yourself.
Definitely. So can you share your story with the audience?
Okay. To start with, I've been scammed. So I have that experience. And if you get, that old saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be scammed. It just means that you care and somebody recognizes that you're a good, compassionate person and they take advantage of you. It's not your weakness. It's not your fault. I just want to be clear about that. I'm not blaming the person who gets scammed. What I am saying is, please learn from it. So this is what I learned. I was trying again to meet somebody because this is life in these times. And my children were urging me to go on this particular dating site, Plenty of Fish. Oh, and I hate dating sites because I've been scammed, and not only scammed, but the attempts are just every bit annoying, And so I was, no, I don't want to. And they kept urging me, just be careful. If there's people like you going on Plenty of Fish, there's good people out there. So don't paint everybody with the same brush. And I thought about that. I thought, well, I am pretty nice. So there could be somebody nice out there. And sure enough, somebody started chatting with me. Oh, can I chat with you? You seem nice. And he started out gently. So I thought maybe he's not scamming me. And his pictures were of this lovely man. And I thought, okay, let me just keep my brain switched on, but let me listen to him. And he told me that he was from a city right beside the city that I live, which I was happy about because I'm tired of long distance relationships, which will be funny when we find out more details later. So I started chatting with him, and I thought, well, when can we meet for coffee? Because that's the first thing. Ladies, listen to me. Make a plan to meet for coffee as soon as possible. That's the first step in weeding out who's real and who's not. meet him, see him face to face. Now, that's not going to guarantee he's not some sort of scammer, because I've met some in real life too who turned out not good. So don't fall in love at the first sight. There's plenty of men out there. There's plenty of good men out there. So please don't fall in love at first sight. That's not love. That drives you crazy. So I said to this guy, when can we meet? And oh, well, I'm working in Toronto right now. Now, Toronto, for those of you who don't know, Toronto is a 5-hour plane trip to the east. So there's no way we're meeting for coffee.
Because you are in Canada, right?
That's right. That's right. So I thought, okay, well, that's plausible. Okay, so I'm withholding judgment. Okay, so he's in Toronto. We'll meet when he gets back. And then the story started to get interesting. Well, I bought a ticket for Toronto because I said to him, when are you coming back? Ask for solid information. If a guy is traveling, if a guy's a Canadian or an American traveling within the country, we all know how plane tickets work. You book a ticket, you book a return ticket. If he's there for a conference, the conference is from this day to that day, then he's coming home. Keep your mind switched on. So I said to him, oh, when are you coming back? Oh, well, I don't know my ticket. I don't have blah, blah, blah. And then the story started to get a little stupid because I'm listening. That doesn't happen. People don't go to a conference for a few days and they have no idea when they're coming home. So that was my first clue. So then we kept talking because I like playing with people. And he started telling me, I said, well, why don't you phone me then? Phone me. We can talk on the phone. Oh, well, I'm not originally from Canada. I have an accent. Really? Where are you from? And then he said he was from Estonia. Now, the important thing about that clue is that Estonia is a small country that most of us don't have any experience with. So he was hoping that I would not know what his accent should sound like. I happen to know that Estonia is in Eastern Europe. So I don't know exactly what his accent is going to sound like, but I know sort of what his accent is going to sound like. I said, no problem, phone me. So he called me. He did not have an Eastern European accent. His accent was decidedly somewhere in Africa. That was my first big red flag. So we chatted for a little while. I didn't let on that I could see things that weren't adding up because the guy in the picture looked like a nice guy. I knew by this time that the guy that was talking to me was not the guy in the picture. He was emailing me, and his emails were full of this overly romantic language. And I'm looking at the guy in the picture and I'm like, this guy would not write an email like that. This guy is a normal guy. And that language is ridiculous, just ridiculously romantic. And it was, ick. And so I kept talking to him and I said, well, can you send me another picture of you? I didn't let on that I was onto him. So he sent me more pictures of him. And I matched up the pictures. Yes, these were pictures of the same man. No, it was definitely not the man who was talking to me, but he looked like a really nice guy. And the more pictures I got of him, the more I was getting a glimpse into his life. And I'm looking at these pictures, and there was one where he was obviously helping a man get housing who needed housing. And that picture just melted my heart. And I'm like, who is this guy? Because he seems like a good guy, but my only connection to this guy was the scammer. So I played the scammer. Can you send me another picture of yourself? And he was feeling like, oh, he's, getting close. So he sent me another picture of himself. And this time, the picture was of the same man standing by a lectern, a podium to speak. And there was a Kiwanis Club sign on it. And the Kiwanis Club sign said, and I didn't know how to pronounce it at the time because it's some pretty crazy words there. It said Shiawase Owasso. And my first thought was, he's in Japan? Because I never heard of Shiawase Owasso.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's so far away. But we kept conversing through emails and stuff. And this guy, the story, meanwhile, with these pictures are going on, the guy's story is carrying on with this plane ticket. Oh, I can't, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a plane ticket. And listen to the story, because the story that he was telling me was building towards him wanting me to send him money for a plane ticket. He hadn't said it yet, but if you read between the lines, that's where he was going. Because he was setting himself up. Oh, he has lots of money, but it's at home. I'm sorry, in Canada, we have debit cards. We are always in touch with our cash. Keep in mind what the facts are. So he's starting to build up towards this. Poor me. I'm stuck in Toronto. I don't have a plane ticket. And I wanted to end this before we got to the money thing, because that was annoying. But there was this guy I hadn't found yet. So when I went into Google and I Googled Shiawase Owasso, and I found out it was in Michigan. Who would have thought? And of course, that was a good clue, because this guy that was talking to me said he was from Chilliwack, BC, currently at a conference in Ontario. He didn't mention anything about a Kiwanis club in Michigan. Follow your clues. Keep your brain switched on. And then I asked him for more pictures, because I was on to something here. And he sent me this other picture, and this picture was of the man, same man. So I knew I had the same man here, and he was at a speaking event. I could tell because there was all those tables and there was all these people around, and he was wearing a name tag. A name tag. So I said to myself, I'm sure that this scammer has obscured the name on the name tag, because that would be the smart thing to do. And I couldn't see because it was, the picture on my computer, and I wasn't wearing my glasses. There's so much I miss in life because I don't bother wearing my glasses. That's another story. So I finally, the picture was on my phone. I couldn't see any detail except that it was the same man. And he looked so friendly. He looked so nice. So now I was really wanting to find this. So then I emailed his picture to my email so I could open it on my computer. And I enlarged the picture to look at this name tag. And sure enough, the scammer had not bothered to doctor the name tag.
Oh my God.
It was the man's, and I could tell it hadn't been doctored. I could tell it was a real name. And I'm not going to tell you the name yet. You know who the name is. But then I watched Dr. Phil too, and Dr. Phil is always teaching people how to deal with scammers. So I thought, okay, what do? I do a reverse image search. So you put the image in Google, and I was trying to figure out where it's from. I didn't know how to read the data that I had, but one piece of data I did know how to read. It gave me the website of the man in the picture. So I clicked on that website, and I found out that this lovely man is from Michigan. He's in Toastmasters, which I am. He's a speaker, which I am. And I read every single thing on his website because he has comments on there from people who know him. And I'm reading this. Oh, he is a really good guy.
Oh.
And the scammer, I emailed him again. Oh, do you have any more pictures to send me? And he started to get mad at me. What, you only want pictures of me? I said, well, okay, actually, the pictures that you've been sending me have been of another man that now I know who that is. It's not you. You've been lying to me all along. Stop lying to women. You are only trying to hurt women. And I gave him this big angry spiel. He had the audacity to say that I should thank him for sending me those pictures of the other man. He scammed this other man. He tried to scam me, and I should thank him. I just ended the conversation right there. I sent an email to this other man whose name I shall mention shortly.
Yes.
And the email went to his official email through his website. And I know how those work. I have a website too. I don't always check those emails. I have them coming into my main email because I don't want to miss them, but you know how it is with email. And so I went back to his website because now I had read everything. Oh, and I also enlarged all the pictures on his website to make sure he wasn't wearing a wedding ring because, you know, I'm a nice girl here. And he wasn't. So I told my kids, I think I might have found somebody, but he's in Michigan. I don't want Michigan, but he's in Michigan. And so then, because he didn't respond to my email right away, because I was waiting by this time, so I went back to his website and I found his phone number.
Before you go into the phone number, how long were you carrying this conversation with this scammer?
Oh, it wasn't long. It was only maybe 3 or 4 days.
Oh, wow.
If you ask the right questions and you keep your brain switched on, you can sniff out a scammer quickly. And if you want anything from them, get it and get out. Don't let the scammer feel like he's getting any traction. I didn't let him get to the point of asking me for money, but they very quickly move into asking you for money. If anybody asks you for money, do not send it to them, because that's the only reason they're trying to hook you in, is to ask for money. If you have a friend, somebody that you know who needs money, send it by all means. I'm not telling you not to help people, but don't make scammers win. We have a part in that. We make scammers win when we send money. Don't send money. They're fine. If they needed money so bad, they should have asked their friends and family. They shouldn't have come to try to hook you for it. So I phoned him and I got his voicemail, but at least it was a phone number now. And so I left a message and I said, I'm at work right now, so don't call me because I'm at work, but here's my phone number. And I told him that he was getting scammed. This is what I said, because I didn't want to seem like a psycho stalker. Oh, I saw your website. I was really nervous about that because he did seem like a really nice guy and I didn't want to freak him out. So I told him, you know, somebody's using your pictures to scam women. You seem like a lovely man who wouldn't want that. So you should know what's going on. I have pictures of you to prove that I know what I'm telling you the truth, because how else would I have a picture of you except the scammer sent it to me? If you want to talk about this anymore, here's my phone number. And then he got the message and he told me later, he listened to it. This woman left me her phone number. She wants me to call her. So he called me and it was just wonderful. And of course, you know, he's your friend Chuck Dodge from Owasso, Michigan. And he is a lovely man. And we hit it off right away. We have so much in common. We're both very nerdy Toastmasters, which it's hard to get a date when you're that much into Toastmasters. I can tell you that for a fact. I've been laughed at by many, many people for my love of Toastmasters. And that's a little disheartening because there's millions of us in Toastmasters. So to meet somebody who was as eager for Toastmasters as I am, that was fun. And so Chuck and I, we talked, and then we talked every day. And then he actually bought a plane ticket with his own money. Didn't ask me for a dime. And he came up here and we spent, we call it the 12 days of Christmas because it was 12 days in November. And we spent some time together. He met my whole family. I have met men in person who refused to meet my family. That is a clue. If a man will not meet your family or your children, walk away. He's after something that you don't need to give him.
Mhm.
Only a good man will meet your family. A good man will embrace your children.
Mhm.
That's a good man. And Chuck and I, we had a blast. We spent those days together. We got to know each other. And like I say, he met my family. And then he went back to Michigan. But it's been a year now. Come on, Chuck, come back to Canada. But he's coming, and we've spent the year getting to know each other for real, you know. And it's just, it's wonderful. It is wonderful to meet a good person. It is disheartening to be scammed. So protect yourself. Keep your brain switched on. You don't have to go with either your heart or your brain. Use them both together. They work really well together. And when they work together, they'll protect you from things like scammers. There's good men out there. You don't have to settle for somebody who's shady and just trying to hurt you.
Definitely. And what are the odds that, well, you were able to find him to begin with, but that he was single? You know?
I know, right? Well, I'd really been praying about this because I was tired of meeting. And the thing is, on the internet, yes, I was praying about this because I was tired of meeting men who lie about their status. And I learned a couple of things in my years of being a single woman. When men that you've never met yet, when men on dating sites or however they're coming in to meet you, when they say they're divorced, honestly, quite often that means the wife is at work. If they say that they're separated, yeah, probably separated by a wall because she's in the kitchen and he's in the living room. So it's terrible. And so be careful. Don't believe anything you hear from a stranger. And until you guys know each other, he's a stranger. Take the time to get to know and find out. Do a little bit of detective work. Don't be a freak about it because a good relationship also requires trust.
Mhm.
But you're not in a relationship yet when you first meet somebody. So no trust is required. A lot of information is required. So don't be afraid to ask. Ask him who his friends are. Ask him what he does for a living. Ask him for another phone number. If all you can do is phone his cell phone at certain times, that's a big old red flag right there. Like, ask the questions and don't be afraid of the answers because the picture he's showing you is probably not him anyway. It's somebody else that's getting scammed. In fact, more recently, a woman contacted me on Facebook, a woman from Brazil, and I don't speak Portuguese, and so I had to use the Facebook translator, but she was furious with Chuck that she said that Chuck was scamming her, and I know Chuck.
No.
It didn't even alarm me at all. I said, no, he's not. Yes, he is, and I said, listen, somebody stole his pictures as they've done before, and this is what happened. And she told me the details he said about himself. I'm like, okay, that is so not Chuck. And Chuck, as we know, he's not, it would never occur to him to scam somebody. He's a good guy. So it was an opportunity for me to educate her on how scammers operate. And no, don't send him money. And a lot of these guys, I still get messages from guys, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm an airline pilot, I'm this or that. Oh, by the way, I'm stuck. Do you have money? It's not logical. Why would they be hitting up some strange woman they don't know? That they try to impress you with their prestigious position, but they're broke. I don't know a woman alive who's impressed with a man who's broke, unless she's in love with them and she gets his life. But if you're trying to impress a woman with the big job title. I'm an army doctor. Army doctor is a big one. There's a lot of men who claim to be army doctors and they're stuck in some foreign country and they can't get home. If you're an army doctor, don't you think the army flies him around the world where it wants him to be? Be logical. These guys are telling lies, and lies, the beautiful thing about lies is they don't stand up to the truth. So you can find the holes in their stories. It's not that hard. Don't fall for the guy in the picture if you believe the guy in the picture is the guy talking to you. Because the scammers, they target you and they steal pictures of nice looking men that women will fall for. Chuck is a very nice looking man. He's kind and he's generous and he's friendly, and you can see all of that in his picture. His picture is the type of picture that would make a woman, and did, oh, that's a nice looking man. He wasn't the guy who was talking to me. I found Chuck, and I'm glad I did. But you have to separate. The guy in the picture is not the guy talking to you. The guy in the picture is every bit a victim of the scam as you are. So if you're angry at somebody, don't be angry at the guy in the picture. He didn't do anything. He's sitting somewhere else with no clue that his pictures are being used to scam women. Chuck couldn't believe it. He had no idea. But I'm glad I told him, and I'm glad that I know what I know, so that when this woman from Brazil she was posting stuff all over Facebook about Chuck. I'm like, that's not Chuck. Stop it. You've been scammed, and I'm sorry about that. Don't send any money, because she was getting ready to sell her house to send this guy money so they could move somewhere together. Don't do it. A real guy doesn't need all that. A real guy would never ask you to do that. I don't know why women fall for it, because we all know a real man will never ask a woman to do those things.
And
Ever.
it happens to women too, so be aware of that too.
That's right, exactly. It's both ways. Anybody, men or women, who are targeted by a stranger through a dating site or Facebook or Instagram. I get them on Instagram all the time too. I don't even bother talking to them. I got no time for that now. It used to be fun. Now it's just a pain in the neck. But yes, anybody, a man or a woman who targets you for dating and needs money, they're stuck, they have a big dramatic story, cut it off. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your heart, because you obviously have a good heart. If you care to listen, spend your heart on people who will actually benefit from it. Spend your heart on your family. Spend your heart on somebody that really will love you back. It's so much better that way.
It's such a interesting story, and I'm glad that for you paid attention to the red flags. Yeah. You did a really amazing job at detective work, because you were able to find Chuck. And yes, I happen to know Chuck, and he has a huge heart. He's very giving with his time. He's a very good listener. We're very, very good friends. And when he shared his story about you and him, I said, I gotta talk with Linda, because I know there are so many women and men who look for love online. That's the phase for so many years now. And I hear so many stories of, oh, my mom met this guy in Italy, but he asked her to send again money. And now she sent over $10,000 to this guy. And I'm like, what? you know, this is crazy. Why are women or men sending money to strangers? And this is a scam.
Yes. And that's the problem. Once you send the first bit of money, it's like now you feel obligated, and they know that they have somebody with money.
Exactly.
and they will
Exactly.
keep bleeding you dry until you have no more. You end up broke, bankrupt, maybe homeless. I've seen on TV stories where people end up in desperate circumstances because they've sent away everything they had, and you'll never get it back. There is nobody in the world that can retrieve that money for you. Don't send money, period.
Yes, yes, definitely. Well, Linda, I thank you so much for taking the time to share your story, because I know that our viewers are going to share in their social media your story in hopes of protecting men and women from these terrible experiences that happen every day. And the good thing is that there is good stories out there, such as yourself, of finding true love, so that it also gives hope to people that are in search of finding their better half, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's worth looking, but be smart about it.
Yes, and in the future, we're going to have Chuck give us his perspective of how he felt when he reached out to you, so that he can also share what it's like to get a phone call out of the blue from his better half, because now you know you guys are together and you're very happy, and it's so beautiful to see you, you know, love each other. I mean, it's such a beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you, Claudia. I love telling the story. So thank you for the opportunity for me to tell it.
Yes, definitely, and we'll hope we can talk in the future. I love speaking with you today.
Thank you. And me too, Claudia. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.